Hello, everyone. I'm Susan Harris, Rural Health, Wellness, and Safety Educator with Nebraska Extension, and I'm here to tell you about our pilot project called ATV Aware. This was a project that was funded by CS Cash, and our goal was to find FFA chapters to teach behaviors, have them learn about behaviors, and then see how they followed up with those behaviors. So we went to 11 FFA chapters with this, and I'll talk about that later. But first, I'd like to mention that the inspiration for this project came from my very first ISASH conference when I went to a session that Dr. Denning was doing from University of Iowa, and it showed their simulator that was very similar to this one. And so we went to the same custom ATV simulator maker that they used, and he made one for us. We found out that I think he highly underestimated how much road time this thing would have, because it's been around and we had to reinforce it in several different ways throughout, but it has been very successful for us. So what we did with our FFA chapters was we would go into each one and do a pre-survey first to just see what they knew about safe behaviors. Then we would divide them up into groups. And this is a picture of a very small group. It could be anywhere from 6 kids to, I think we had 45 in one group. And so we would have this team competition learning where we would ask them the safe behavior questions, and their team would have to come up with the right answer, and they would compete against each other. After that, we would take them outside to the simulator and put a few of them on there, and of course talk about more safe behaviors there. We would do a post survey to see how much they learned, what was retained. And then 6 months later, we came back physically, but we would send them the follow-up survey to fill out. So here's an example of that. One of the questions was true or false. To be safe, drive an ATV on paved or gravel roads when possible. And so you'll see there that almost 60% of them thought that was true. When after the intervention, almost all of them understood that it was false. You should not ride on roads. 96.6% said that. And then here's some more examples of the T1, T2, and T3 surveys. The one is the pre-survey, one is after the intervention, and then the last one is the follow-up 6 months later. The first one, it showed that, yeah, they had a lot to learn, all of these. You can see the differences in numbers here. They learned it and they got it. And then, so the intention was there, you can tell. We told them to please be honest. How is this going to affect you? Are you really going to use this information? And their answers were pretty, you know, it was pretty hopeful that they might actually change behavior. However, when we came back and did the 6-month follow-up, of course, those numbers went down, and they weren't actually, there weren't as many kids following through with those behaviors. But we also had a low turnout for that follow-up survey. I wish we could have had more kids respond to it. Locations to date, after the pilot project, we went out and just educated the world. We went to all of these locations, reached over 12,000 people, from young kids to adults. We went to several businesses where they rode ATVs and their managers just wanted education on it. So it traveled a lot. Here are some examples. For instance, this is a Kids Safety Day, this one and this one here. The kids are not allowed to get on it because it's an adult size ATV. So we always would bring the smaller size so that they had something to do. And they love that. They love getting on there and putting on this stuff. And then we took it to both our state and the National FFA Convention. We took it to many schools here and like that, 4-H groups. We took it to health fairs and to county fairs, a lot of those. And you can see we added the board with the wheel because kids love to spin the wheel, and adults. Everybody loves the wheel. And the kids, of course, since they can't get on the simulator, they had a blast just trying to answer the questions. And many of them would just stand there until they got every single question answered. So I would say this pilot project was successful in educating many people, and it's still going strong. And if you have any other questions about it, or if you'd like the curriculum that we came up with, just let me know. Thank you.